Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles. Today I'm joined by writer, director, and star of Some Like It Rare. Out of respect to you, I did not try to say your name. So please pronounce your name.
Fabrice Eboue.
I was way off. I even used Google Translate and it still didn't do it.
It's difficult. Fabrice, it's French. Fabrice, it's French. My name Eboue is from Cameroon in Africa. So it's too difficult. Okay.
Yeah, my name is difficult, so I completely understand. But thank you for joining me. I absolutely love the film.
Thank you.
I did. I laughed and it was just, it was loads of fun and in your face. Like it was like some of the kills and things that happening was just like, I was shocked and shook.
Thank you.
Well, let's get started. I mean, I could talk for hours about this film. It was that good. So what I really did love about this film was the relationship between Vincent and Sophie, to the point where I felt like Sophie was the one that was scarier than Vincent, because the way she pushed him to like, okay, we need to save the business. Let's do this. And he was like, no.
Okay.
How did you like, what was the inspiration? Because I did read a little bit on it, but I want to hear it from you.
Jean-Luc translates, because my English is not so good. So Jean-Luc translates. And non, l'inspiration pour le film, alors, et pour le personnage en particulier de Marina, il se trouve que je suis un grand consommateur d'émissions, de documentaires sur les tueurs en série, sur les faits divers, et je sais que c'est une consommation qui devient planétaire. On le voit sur les plateformes, il y a beaucoup de choses sur les faits divers, les tueurs en série. Je crois que les gens aiment se faire peur quelque part, mais c'est plus rare d'avoir des couples de tueurs en série, effectivement, comme celui-ci. Mais j'ai voulu que le personnage féminin soit la représentatrice de ces gens qui sont passionnés par ces faits divers. Et elle, effectivement, ça prend une tournure un peu plus malfaisante, qui va finir par la posséder quelque part. Oui, c'est elle qui devient l'ange démoniaque du couple.
He's fascinated by the fact that right now you have a lot of people worldwide that are totally, in crime TV about things, serial killers and things like that. So he wanted to deal with creating a couple of serial killers, so to say, but not only a couple, he also wanted to stress on the fact that the woman was the evil, So the woman was the person who was leading the couple, And so the progress of his wife, Sophie, during the whole movie shows the fact that she's coming from, something which seems very plain and mundane, and she suddenly becomes someone who's really very much in serial killing.
Et ce que je rajouterais, c'est que souvent, quand on voit des choses sur les tueurs en série, c'est des gens qui ont des enfances la plupart du temps très misérables, avec des gros chocs émotionnels, de la violence, etc., à tous les niveaux. Là, j'ai voulu montrer comment Monsieur et Madame Tout-le-Monde, avec le rapport qui est le leur dans le film, à savoir une femme plutôt dominante, comment Monsieur et Madame Tout-le-Monde, avec des événements plus ou moins tragiques les uns à la suite des autres, vont pouvoir glisser dans l'horreur et dans le meurtre systématique.
He says that most of the time when you deal with serial killers and everything, you have people who have great trauma during childhood, you have suffered mistreatment from their relatives and things like that. In this film, he wanted to show Mr. and Mrs. Nobody, basically, being touched by a tragic chain of events, and suddenly touched and pushed by this tragic chain of events, they would themselves become, so to say, monsters.
Okay. Also, I really did love the underlying message that this film had, because even though they were butchers, quote unquote, I felt like it was the relationship that was in trouble. And this just so happened to be the situation they were kind of accidentally pushed into. And even though, I mean, I just hope people see more than what it is of just, you know, romantic comedy and stuff like that, which is absolutely great. But, you know, to be in a relationship that's suffering because of a business, and then you have friends that are like, oh, I'm doing great, and it's making them kind of uncomfortable and jealous, that the whole masculinity of their relationship was kind of like suffering, but this kind of brought out things that they needed. I mean, it's kind of like it's funny that it happened to be butchers, but literally, but it just, they needed a spark for the relationship, and the hunt was on from then on. The push was her, I think, and there were moments where she was watching him doing things as if she was the voyeur, as if this was the part of her that she needed more than he did. I thought that's what I was getting out of it.
Ouais, et alors d'abord pour revenir sur le côté comédie romantique, c'est vrai que le film est traité exactement comme une comédie romantique, et j'ai fait attention à ça. C'est un couple que tout commence à séparer, que le poids de la vie commence à séparer, et qui va se retrouver à travers l'aventure. Alors c'est sûr que c'est une aventure sanglante, mais on retrouve exactement les codes classiques de la comédie romantique. Sauf qu'évidemment, rares sont les comédies romantiques où on tue, je crois, 36 personnes de souvenirs, etc. Mais effectivement, ce film raconte aussi comment un couple peut se retrouver en retrouvant l'aventure, aussi morbide, aussi morbide soit-elle. Je ne sais pas, Jean-Luc, si j'ai répondu à toute la question. Ouais.
No, he says that the film has actually all the codes of the romantic comedy. You know, the film starts with a couple that everything, they're about to split, really. You know, nothing goes anymore. And there is I can add also that there is a social dimension with the fact that the business actually hits the couple, which is also something interesting. The truth is, he did really respect the classical codes of the romantic comedy, even though you have very few romantic comedy with 36 murders and such a bloody thing. But even though it's rare, there is something here which is very important for him.
Et ce qui est amusant, si tu veux, et c'est vrai, moi j'ai mon frère dont le couple périclité, et ils ont choisi de faire un tour du monde, et c'est ça qui a relancé le couple. Et là, effectivement, leur tour du monde à eux, et ben, c'est cette succession de meurtres sordides. Mais voilà, on sait pas ce qui peut relancer un couple, c'est se retrouver, c'est avoir un objectif commun, un couple. Alors ça peut être un enfant, là c'était sauver la boucherie, et ça va basculer effectivement dans le meurtre systématique.
He says that he has a brother that had marital problems, so to say, and the couple decided to go on a big adventure all over the world. And he says that in the case of Vincent and Sophie, their big adventure is actually, you know, saving the butchery, the shop, and the killing spree, so to say, which they embark on, is the type of travel that Fabrice just mentioned.
The soundtrack to this, the Macho Man Born to Be Wild montage, was so fun. It was just, I don't know, it was like a dance of things going on all at once. I mean, each kill was tragic, but it was so unexpected and kind of funny the way it kind of happened. I mean, these people are just like unexpected, just like eating or something, and then all of a sudden, I mean, it was just so completely catch you off guard that it was almost, you didn't take it seriously, which is good because of so much blood is going on. But it was just really had some moments that I really did enjoy. But the music was just, the soundtrack is excellent.
Ah merci, thank you. Effectivement, et c'est amusant parce que nous, quand on choisit des musiques pour un film, que ce soit Macho Man ou Born to Be Wild, on oublie que chez vous, ça a une portée encore plus forte. Même si ce sont des tubes internationaux, ça reste des musiques et des chanteurs anglophones. Donc forcément, j'avais oublié cet aspect-là dans votre visionnage parce que là, vous restez totalement dans votre élément culturel. Mais pour moi, effectivement, comme je voulais que ce soit un film malgré tout où les gens rient, il fallait que je sois capable de prendre le contre-pied en permanence. Donc il faut à des moments montrer que ce couple vire dans la bestialité absolue, mais que le côté, le meurtre devient de plus en plus léger. Et vous avez vu que pendant tout le film, il hésite à tuer, puis il y a la bascule, et puis petit à petit, ça devient, il tue comme certains vont au travail tous les matins pour être serveur ou avocat. Ça devient une routine de tous les jours. Et donc la musique, effectivement, accompagne ça, autant les moments de bestialité que les moments de légèreté. C'est pour ça que j'ai choisi ces musiques et ces clips et ces comparaisons aussi avec les documentaires animaliers qui rajoutent au côté bestial.
Fabrice say that the truth is when we in France choose some music for a film, we don't think about the fact that those musics are actually English soundtracks, you know. So it speaks to you, it talks to you quite much more specifically than it does to us in a way, because this is your culture, because this is your native language and everything. And he said that when he chose the music, he wanted the music to be able to go along bestiality as much as light-hearted things, you know. So when he used the music, he says there is a moment in the film where he actually goes to kill, like somebody would go being a waiter or a lawyer, you know, it's just a job he's doing, you know. And there is something here, which is why he chooses this music also to accompany the fact that he used this wildlife, you know, excerpts, which is very specific to that, to talk about this bestiality.
Okay. There is a scene, I laughed out loud. I like screamed because it was so unexpected when they were like chopping up the person. I'm not going to give too much away, of course, but when she was like her finger, like the whole hand finger thing, and he reached in his pocket and showed her that, I was like, whoa. I laughed so loud, and then when you threw it to the dog, I was like, okay, I am done. How did you get away with? I was like, wow, that. I screamed off of that. It was so funny. It was hilarious.
Mais vous savez, c'est assez amusant parce que toutes ces scènes sont effectivement très explicites, on n'a rien caché, on a voulu voir les doigts, le chien avec par exemple la main dans la bouche, les doigts qui sont coupés, et c'est amusant parce qu'au départ, pour pouvoir monter le film et avoir des financiers, on avait dit que tout serait plutôt suggéré, et plus ça allait dans l'écriture, plus j'étais en train de préparer le film, plus je me suis dit, non, pour que ce film ait un intérêt, il faut qu'on voit tout, je veux dire, c'est des bouchers qui vivent dans la viande et le sang en permanence, ils vont découper des gens. Si on le suggère, il va y avoir une vraie frustration. Donc, pour trouver le juste équilibre, que finalement il n'y ait pas de frustration, mais qu'on ne vire pas dans le gore gratuit, on s'est dit on va pousser jusqu'au bout et ça va en devenir rigolo. Donc, si vous avez tellement ri à ces scènes-là, je crois que l'objectif est atteint, c'est que c'est tellement too much à un moment que ça en devient plus drôle qu'autre chose.
Say at the very beginning, you know, when he was working on the film and prepping and everything, everybody was talking about rather suggesting than showing, you know. But the more he were getting into the film and prepping, and he said, why should I suggest instead of showing? Those people, butchers, they live in blood on a daily life. So why should I trigger frustration here? You know, so instead of triggering frustration, let's go to the very end of it, you know. Let's show everything, let's do it, you know. And he said that this is the way, because there is no frustration at that stage. Since he achieved what you exactly did, which you burst out of laughter.
Et je me rappelle, c'est vraiment parce que plus je montais le film, plus j'appelais les effets spéciaux pour leur dire il me faudrait 3 doigts en plus, il me faudrait maintenant un sexe masculin, il me faudrait... Et tous les jours, je les rappelais pour leur demander des bouts de corps en plus, quoi.
He said while he was cutting the movie, he was always calling the SFX guys, telling, could you give me 3 more fingers, please? 1 more penis? So there was something, the guys were called every other day, you know, asking new things.
Well, it was definitely, this film had a message in there. This relationship was struggling, and they use what they know best, which is butchery, to save it. I mean, pretty much. I don't know if you ever seen Tales from the Crypt. There was an episode called What's Cooking? And it's so similar to this film. 30 years later, this movie comes out. It's like a perfect timing for this film. And it's just amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you. I just knew I had to, because like I said, it was something different. It was funny, it was quirky, it was a romantic comedy, it was bloody, it was gory, it was everything a horror fan would absolutely love. I had a really good time, and I know a lot of people will too. If not,
thank you very much.
Everyone. And I have to say, you have a beautiful language.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.